Hello there, listener. Welcome to Dare to Live with Mary Ajagbe. This podcast is aimed towards healing, instructing, teaching, and really helping you daily decide to live. How have you been? How is the week going? Did you catch up on last week's episode? I hope it blessed you. Awesome. So today's episode, we will be talking about embrace your journey. Embrace your journey. So recently I've been in a season for I think over a year plus now where it's almost seemed like I feel isolated. I mean, let's be real here. I feel isolated. I feel like I've just been in this space where I've just been by myself, and in the beginning I struggled with it. In the beginning I just wanted to get out. I just wanted to let loose. I just wanted, it wasn't a comfortable place to be for me, so in the beginning of that season, I was very uncomfortable with myself. I was uncomfortable with a lot of things. I was snappy, and a whole bunch of, other feelings and all. But it got to a point where I finally realized, and then I got into a conversation with a friend, and we started to talk, and I was just ranting and complaining to her. And I just feel like God has me in this season where I feel very isolated. Why can't I be out there? Why can't I be doing this? Why can't I be doing that? And all of that. And I said a whole lot of stuff to her. And I remember one of the things she had sent me a message, one of those days. I mean, it wasn't even, like immediately after the conversation, but on, consequent days, she just sent me the link to a message to listen to it, and it was talking about embracing your preparation actually. But I just tagged this embrace your journey because I feel and I sense that a whole lot of people are in a place, probably in a season like myself, where it almost seems like you're just, it feels like you're stuck, but you're not stuck. It feels like you're isolated, like you don't have. So if you would understand this, you can relate with this if there was a season before now where you had people around you. You were in the midst of so many people and things was happening for you. It almost seemed like you were the life of the party in the midst of so many happening things, and then all of a sudden, poof, there was a switch. It almost seems like you're alone. There's no one with you and you're just there, and it seems like you're doing life alone. Like there are people around you, don't get me wrong, like there are people around you, but for some reason you still feel alone. My advice to you today really is embrace your journey, embrace the season you're in, embrace your journey. It is yours. It is as authentic as it can ever be. And if there is one thing that I've learned over the years, it is the importance of times and seasons. Times and seasons. Oh wow, if there is anything that you should ever take into consideration, it is that times and seasons. Times change, seasons change. Once upon a time, you were in primary school. Once upon a time, you were in junior secondary. Once upon a time, you were in senior secondary. Once upon a time, you were in high school. Once upon a time, you were in the uni. Once upon a time, life took a turn, away from the plans that you had built for yourself. So let me give you this short story about myself. Well, short story, sort of. So I remember then in, senior secondary and even in junior secondary, how we would get together and just have conversations, girls to girls, because I went to an all-girls school, by the way. And we would have conversations then with my friends, and we would talk about our life outside of school, how we're going to get married, how we're going to go to the university, how we're going to be this, how we're going to be that. My goodness. Oh my goodness. So, shocker. I remember that I finished secondary school before I clocked at the age of 14. I was going to be 15 that year, sometime in September. And I finished like in the maybe first 2 early months of the year, and we're done from secondary school. And I wrote JAMB the first year. I wrote JAMB the second year. I did not get in. I wrote JAMB the third year. What happened? And for 5 years, I was home. But I was doing other things, but you know how we had it all planned out that, after secondary school, we're going to get into university. I was going to study law. I was going to do this, and then after studying law, I was going to get into practice. I was going to get married, and I was going to have children. Boom, and that's the end of my life. Rude shock, rude awakening. 5 years after secondary school, I hadn't gotten into university. So imagine how old I was by then, and almost seemed like I saw, my colleagues, my secondary school mates get into school, and a whole lot of stuff, and I started to feel bitter. I started to feel like, what is happening to me? Why is my life like this? I felt like maybe I had bad head. I felt like others probably had good head, and things were just working out for them, and maybe they did something right in their former life, and I didn't do something right. So I went through a lot of emotions of pain, of comparison. I went through the emotions, whatever it is that you think anybody could have felt, I felt. I was depressed, I was angry, I was sad, I felt like I wasn't good enough, I felt like, for Christ's sakes, finish secondary school, why can't I get into university? I wanted to study law. At a point, right, I even had to change the course I wanted to study just so it would be okay for me. Maybe they would take me, went from Lagos to Ibadan. It didn't work out. And because of that, I attended, radio school. that one is, I'll talk about the radio journey in the next episode, But one of the things, there are a couple of things that I want to bring out. There is no story as authentic as your story. Your story is as authentic and as original as it will ever be. And the truth is, a lot of us are desiring other people's journey because it seems like they've arrived at the destination that we want to arrive at, right? And see, let's just be honest, some of us are envious of those people. We act like we're grateful, we act like we're happy for them, but in reality, what we're saying, I wish that was me. Let's be honest. You said it to yourself. I've been there. I've said it to myself too. I felt all of the emotions. I've gone through everything, the ups, the downs, everything. I've gone through the emotions. But you know where I finally landed? I finally got to understand that in as much as we might have similarities with life experiences and all of that, the reality is that your life journey is as dynamic and as authentic as it will ever be. And you've got to embrace it. You've got to appreciate your journey. You've got to embrace every part of it. The times when things seem rosy, the times when things seem so smooth, the times when things seem so chaotic and everything, just all of that. Feel it, embrace it. It's your journey, it's your story. Embrace it. Because you know what? I don't think that in the Bible, right, there was Moses chapter 1 or Exodus chapter 1, there was Exodus, I mean, there was Exodus chapter 1, Exodus chapter 2, but I mean in parts, right? And it was only one Moses. There was no two Moses. It was from Moses, it moved from Moses to Joshua, right? So the reality is that your journey is your journey. Your story is your story, and there are dynamics to your story, and you've got to embrace it. You've got to enjoy every part of your journey. Don't detest it, don't resent it, don't resist it. I'll take that again. Don't detest it, don't resist it, and don't resent it. I did that. I did all three. In fact, I did so much more. I detested it because I just felt like my life wasn't fun enough, that it had to be somebody else's that was worth living, right? I resisted it. It got to a point where I started to say, God, I started to almost pray it away. And then I resented it. It just felt like, how can just me, my life like this? And I would see pictures of my classmates and of people that I know doing what I think my life should have been or should be. Be married, have a child. Really, but what next, right? So there's more to that. And I know that a lot of people are in that place right now where you are detesting your journey, you're resisting your journey, and you're resenting your journey because you probably feel like they give you the wrong person's life, and while you should be living somebody else's life because it looks good on the gram. My dear, embrace your journey. Some people's journey is 100 kilometers, some people 300, some people 500, some people 1,000 kilometers, some people marathon, right? So you've got to know what your own life's race is and stick to it. Right? So I'll share more in the next episode, so do listen in, right? Thank you for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to follow me and share the link to everyone that you know. Let's just get the word out there. Let's encourage ourselves, right? Now remember, God wants you all. And the essence of this podcast, right, is that you dare to live above the limitations, dare to live above the status quo, dare to live above all of the limitations and barriers that you have placed on yourself, that others have placed on you, that the environment seems to place on you. God wants you all.